Hello, welcome back to class. I'm so glad to have you here again. In our last lesson, we looked at types of pronoun, mainly the personal pronoun, and then we focused on the subject and object pronouns. And then you were given some exercises to practice with, and I'm sure that you must have done those because that's where we're going to start today's class. We'll have the correction to them, and then you get to see how you did. So let's get started. For the first practice, the instruction says choose the correct personal pronoun to complete each sentence. So for this one, you'll be given an option and then you pick out the best personal pronoun or the correct personal pronoun that fits in with the sentence. So let's start. Dad gave dash a gift. Dad gave dash a gift. So in your option you have I or me. So now you have to make your decision. Is it I or me? Which I'm sure you've done. So let's see the correct answer. Me. So it is Dad gave me a gift. So that means you can say Dad gave I a gift because I is a subject personal pronoun while me is the object. And you know object is the receiver of an action. So who did Dad give a gift? It's not I. Dad gave me a gift. Number 2. Dash love to play football. Dash love to play football. So your option is in between they and them. And the answer is they. They love to play football. Now this is correct because they is a subject personal pronoun and your answer is expected to be at the subject's position. So you can say them love to play, but they love to play. I'm sure you're getting it right so far and that's very good. So let's go on. The teacher saw dash, he or him. So the answer is the teacher saw him, not he. Again, him is at the object's position, which is what you have here. So it is him, not he. And then the last one for this practice is, can you help dash with this bag? Your answer is us. Can you help us with this bag? Not can you help we, because we is subject, us is object. I hope you got all of them correctly. Let's go on to the next practice. So for practice 2, the instruction says underline the pronoun and write whether it is a subject or object pronoun. So now you have to pick pronouns from a particular sentence and then you identify if it is the object or the subject's pronoun. Let's start. She gave me a flower. She gave me a flower. So the answer, she and me are the pronouns we have here. And then she is the subject's pronoun while me is the object's pronoun. All right, so we go on to number 2. They are coming to the party. They are coming to the party. So we have they as the pronoun, and it is not just any pronoun, it is the subject's pronoun. How are you doing so far? Great, I believe. So for number 3, we saw him at the park. We saw him at the park. So let's get to see the answer. We is the pronoun and him. So we have we is the subject's pronoun, him is the object's pronoun. All right? And then the next one, I helped them with their homework. I helped them with their homework. So let's see. I and them are the pronouns. All right? And I is the subject's pronoun while them is the object's pronoun. All right? Then this is the last one. He took us to the zoo. He took us to the zoo. So let's see. All right, so we have he and us as the pronouns. While he is the subject, us is the object. So that's on the correction. I really hope that you got all of them correctly, or let's say you got few wrong, and That would be great. So for today's class, we are going to continue and then we're going to look at the other types of pronouns that we have. We have more than one. We don't just have the personal pronoun. So we're going to look at the remaining ones that we have. So let's get started. Now, the next type of pronoun I want to introduce you to is the possessive pronoun. Possessive pronoun. Now, from the word possess, it means to own something. To own something. So let's see what possessive pronoun has to say. These show ownership or something that belongs to someone. Now that's to say that possessive pronouns are used to show that something belongs to someone. It shows ownership. It shows that someone owns something. Now that might be tricky, so let's look at the examples that we have. All right, for possessive pronouns, we have mine, yours, his, hers, its, ours, theirs. So those are the examples that we have, and now let's look at them in sentences. This bag is mine. This bag is mine. So whoever is making the statement is saying that he or she owns the bag. So don't forget, possessive pronouns show ownership. So mine here is the one making it known that I own the bag. Is that understood? Good. So let's look at another example. The book is yours. The book is yours. Now I'm the one speaking. You own a book and I'm saying the book is yours. So yours is the possessive pronoun here, showing that the book belongs to you. Okay, another example. Give him the money. It is his. Give him the money. It is his. So you're trying to say that he owns the money. So the money is his. It belongs to him. So again, his is the possessive pronoun here, showing ownership. Now let's move on to another type of pronoun, which is reflexive pronoun. Can you say reflexive pronouns? Good. Now let's look at the definition. These are words we use when the person doing the action is the same person receiving the action. Now these are pronouns that show that the person doing the action, if you've not forgotten, the subject is the same person receiving the action, that is the object. So what pronouns are we actually talking about? Let's look at them. All right, so they usually end in self or selves. So these pronouns usually end in self or selves. Now, enough suspense, let's get to it. Okay, so we have myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, themselves. So myself, the one with SELF, which is myself, indicates that it is singular, while the one with SELVES, selves, indicates that it is plural. So ourselves, plural, yourselves, plural, themselves, plural, while myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself are all singular. So let's look at how we have them in sentences. I hurt myself while running. I hurt myself while running. Now this is a question for you. Who hurts herself or who hurts himself? I, right? So I hurt. That means I am the subject. Now what is the object? Myself. I hurt myself. The same person doing the action is the same person receiving the action. I did the action, and then myself received the action. So you have I hurt myself while running. Okay, the next one. She looked at herself in the mirror. She looked at herself in the mirror. When you look at the mirror, who do you look at? Yourself. So she looked. So who looked? She. That is the subject. The person doing the action is she. Now, who did she look at? Herself. So she is also the person receiving the action. All right, so let's look at another example. They enjoyed themselves at the party. Now, the plural comes to play here because they is more than one. All right, so they enjoyed themselves at the party. They enjoyed themselves at the party. So they, the subjects, doing the action, themselves, the object receiving the action. I hope this is understood. All right, so let's go on. Now, the next type of pronoun is demonstrative pronoun. Can you say demonstrative pronoun? That's good. So let's look at the meaning. They are words that we use to point at specific people or things. They are words that we use to point at. You know what point at is? Point at specific people or things. Now let's look at these words. Now they help us say which one we mean, whether it's near or far, one or many. So what they do is they point out something that is either near or far. They also point out if it is one or they are many. Now let's go on. So we just have 4 demonstrative pronouns. We have these, that, these, and those. This, that, these, and those. Now, this is singular, that singular, these plural, those plural. All right, so let's look at examples that we have. Now, imagine you have a pencil close to you. Right? Don't forget we said they help us to state whether it is near, far, one, or many. Imagine you have a pen. A pen means you have one pen close to you. And then someone comes to you and says, whose pen is this? And say, oh, this is my pen. So first, the pen is near. That's why we're using this. Not just near, it is also one pen. It is singular. So that's why you can say, this is my pen. So you're pointing to which pen you're talking about. This one is mine. Or this is my pencil. So the emphasis here is on this, which is used to point at the pen, and then it's used to state whether the pen is near. In this case, it is near, and then it is also just one. All right, the next one. Those are your shoes. Now, you know that when you say those are your shoes, it's not a pair of shoes near to you. It is one that is far away from you. So you can say, oh, those are your shoes. So they are far. You're pointing to them, but they are not near. They are far. And they are not, the pair of shoes now, it's not just one pair. It's maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs. So that's why you can say those are your shoes, plural. All right, moving on. That is the man. That is the man. Now, the man is not beside me. The man is not near me. The man is away from me. So I can point at him and say, that is the man. Now, that is also singular. You can use it for singular because we're talking about just one man. So that is the man. All right. So the last example we have under demonstrative pronoun. These are the fruits. These are the fruits. Now, first thing you need to know is these, these is plural. All right. And then it also points to something near. Imagine your mom tells you to bring some fruits to her. You take it to her and then you say, Mommy, these are the fruits, right? You can say, Mommy, you're holding the fruits close to your mom. And then you can say, Mommy, those are the fruits. No, you can only say, Mommy, these are the fruits, right? All right, so moving on. Now, interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns. So let's see what it says. They are used to ask questions. So simply, your interrogative pronouns are used to ask questions. So let's see the ones we have. We have who, whom, whose, which, what. Who, whom, whose, which, what. So let's check the examples we have. Example 1. Who is knocking? Who is knocking? That's a question. Interrogative pronoun used to ask question. So who is knocking? The next one, which is your favorite? Which is your favorite? Next, whom did you invite to the party? Whom did you invite to the party? Next, whose shoes are these? Whose shoes are these? Now, the last one, what is your name? What is your name? So all of this are questions. Now, these words that I used to ask these questions are the ones we refer to as interrogative pronouns. All right. So now to the summary of everything we've thought under pronoun. So first things, before I go to what we have here, don't forget the fact that pronouns are words used to replace a noun to avoid repetition. And then for the types of pronouns, we have the personal pronouns, which is used to replace the names of specific places, things, and the likes. An example, you have I, you, he, she, and so on. And don't forget the fact that you can either have a subject's pronoun, a subject's personal pronoun, or object's personal pronoun. And also, we have the possessive pronoun used to show ownership, to state the owner of something. It could be yours, it could be mine, it could be his, all right? And then we move on, we have reflexive pronoun, the one that shows that the same person performing an action is the same person receiving the action. So I could hurt myself, or you could look at yourself in the mirror, all right? So demonstrative, pointing things out, points out either things that are near or far, things that is one or many. Okay, and then the last one for the types of pronoun, interrogative pronouns used to ask questions: who, what, which, whom, and so on and so forth. So now this brings us to the end of our class on pronouns. I hope that so far or right now you are grounded in pronouns. You know what pronouns are, you know when to use pronouns, you know how to use them, and then you know which one is singular, which one is plural, which one is the subject, which one is the object. So before we end the class, again, I have practice questions for you. Nothing serious. For practice 1, underline the pronoun in each sentence and state its type. States whether it is demonstrative or interrogative or personal. And then you can see the sentences we have here. And then for practice 2, now I've listed some pronouns for you. All you have to do is sort them under the type they belong to. It could be personal. You list out all the personal pronouns that you have here, and then if it is possessive, you have it here. So just pick it out and then you sort them out. So in the next class, we are going to correct this and move to our new topic. I hope you're excited. All right, so that brings us to the end of today's class. I'm really glad you could stay this long. So thank you, and then I'll see you in the next class. Bye-bye.